Hello, welcome to Pre-Cal Homework Solutions video from section 1.5. We'll be going over the homework 1.5 worksheet, those 12 problems. All right, so starting with number 1, we are to express this number in scientific notation. So it's a number less than 1, so we're going to take our decimal point to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to stop after the first non-zero number. So that'd be 5.73 times 10 to the minus 8 power. Now you can also get your calculator to do this for you. So hopefully you can see this. Let me show you how to do that. All right, so let's just type in the number 0.000000, so 7 zeros, 573, and then hit enter, and it gives you 5.73 e to the minus 8. The e is the same as the times 10. Okay, so the way that we can get it to give it to us in scientific notation is you can go to mode and then go to SCI. On the first line it says normal SCI and then English, and just hit enter, and then go back out of that by second function and quit, and it'll give you that. All right. But I wanted to show you how to do it by hand also. That's even faster really than doing it by calculator. So we have this number, I guess that would be 45,700,000,000. So this is a number larger than 1, so our exponent will be positive. So starting at the end, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's going to be 4.57. You don't have to write any of the trailing zeros, times 10 to the 10th. And just let's see if we can get our calculator to check that for us. 45,700,000, and then hit enter. And that's 4.57 e to the 10th is what your TI-84 would say. So there we go. All right, for the multiplication and division, I am going to do this by calculator, of course. So hopefully you can see this, or just listen along if it's not coming through very well. Clear that out. Now I'm going to use with these newer TI-84s, you don't have to use the second function double E button. So let's try 3.2, and then I can say times 10, and then the caret to the 14th, and then I'm going to hit the right arrow number to get it off of the exponent. That right arrow, not number, but just the right arrow, times 2.78 times 10, and then the caret, and then the 9. All right, we'll hit enter. And of course, it gives you in E form 8.896 e to the 23rd. All right, so 8.896. Now, it's better to write times 10 than the E. Okay, so the E is just the Texas Instruments way of saying that, but the correct mathematical way is the times 10. Okay, and then let's do one, number 4. That'd be 6.45 times 10. We're dividing this time to the 7th, and then make sure to right arrow off of that to get out of the exponent, and then divided by 1.614 times 10 to the 4th. All right, let's hit enter, and we've got 3.99 and then a lot of numbers. That would really round to 4.0 times 10 to the 11th. But it's a 3.996, so we'll go ahead and do that. Do to the 1,000th place. 3.996 times 10 to the 11th. And of course, you can also use, like I did in the, we'll go ahead and do this same operation if using the double E key. So 6.45 second function double E to the 7th divided by 1.614 second function double E to the 4th. Of course, the double E just shows as an E on your screen, and you get, well, that, so you can see how so it's actually not, I apologize for this, the answer is to the 3rd power. And that makes sense, to the 7th over the 4th wouldn't be the 11th. So when you use the times 10 and then the caret key, it can give you some order of operations error. So I'm going to go ahead and say now, let's use the E button, the second function double E, and you'll get the answer in the E, because you'll get an order of operations error. I probably should have put that second value all in parentheses. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. So let's clear that out and try number 4 again. So let's say we have 6.45 times 10 raised to the 7th. Okay, and then we'll right arrow that, divided by, now left parenthesis, 1.614 times 10, and raise that to the 4th power, and then right arrow off of that, right parenthesis, and I do get the E to the 3 number. So I needed that entire denominator value in parentheses to get the correct number if I'm doing the times 10 method. That's why I always taught my students in chemistry to just use the second function double E, because you don't have to do that, and having to remember to use the parentheses just can get you in a lot of trouble. So sorry about putting that 10 to the 11th number down. That was incorrect, but we got it fixed. All right, 49 to the negative 3/2. We want to express this just as a fraction. So that's going to be the same as 1 over 49 to the positive 3/2 value. And it's okay to use your calculator from this point on. Let's go to 49 and raise that by using the caret key to the 3 divided by 2. And that is, I'm going to go ahead and get it off of scientific notation real quick. Let's take that back to normal. All right, and then 49 to the 3/2 is 343. So 1 over 343. That's how I would want you to express this on a test. Okay, 125 to the negative 2/3. That's 1 over 125 to the positive 2/3. Okay, so let's see. 125 raised to the 2/3 power is 25. So that's going to be, don't accidentally do 25. Remember, it's 1 over 25. So be careful about that. So 16 to the minus 3/4 would be 1 over 16 to the positive 3/4. 4th root of 16 is 2. 2 cubed is 8. So that's going to be 1/8. And it is fine if you want to use your calculator to make sure. And then number 8, we would have 1 over 64 to the positive 2/3. I just want to rewrite that with a positive exponent. The cube root of 64 is 4. 4 squared is 16, so that's 1 over 16. If you don't want to do that in your head, feel free to do it in your calculator like we did on the first two. All right, pause the video if you need to, and let me erase this real quick, and we'll finish this worksheet up. Okay, number 9, we want to multiply x to the 1/8. We're going to multiply that by x, that's x to the 1/18 by x to the 1/9. So let me, instead of x's, let me use an asterisk here. Okay, so we're going to add exponents. This is the same as x to the 1/18 plus 1/9 when you multiply the same base. To get 1/9 into 18ths, we will multiply by 2 over 2. So that's going to be x to the 1/18 plus 2/18. So that's x to the 3/18. And then you could simplify that. What's 3/18? That's 1/6. All right. So that is equal to x to the 1/6. Or if I asked you to express that in radical terms, it would be the 6th root of x. All right, number 10. I'm going to do x to the minus 3/7. And we're going to multiply that by x to the 1 over 14. So that's going to be the same as x to the minus 3/7 plus 1 over 14. So I need to get that 3/7 into 14 so I can multiply that by 2 over 2. So that's x to the minus 6 over 14 plus 1 over 14. Okay, now we can add. That's going to be x to the minus 5 over 14. But I want to get rid of all the negative exponents. That would be 1 over x to the 5 over 14. All right, and I wouldn't really ask you to do this in radical form, but that would be the 14th root of x to the 5th. Okay, so if for some reason someone asks you for radical form, that's how it works. All right, number 11. These take up a lot of space. So we're going to divide x to the 1/2 by x to the 1/3. So with division in the same base, you would subtract the exponents. So that's x to the 1/2 minus 1/3. The common denominator would be 6, right? So that's x to the 3/6 minus 2 over 2. Multiply that 1/3, and that would be 2/6, which would be x to the 1/6, or the 6th root of x. All right, so we've already seen that answer before on number 9. Okay, let's see if I can squeeze number 12 in here. So we're going to divide x to the minus 5/8 by x to the minus 3/16. That would be x to the minus 5/8 minus negative 3/16. Okay, remember we subtract. So that's going to be x to the minus 5/8 plus 3/16. That's going to be x to the, let's change this into 16ths by multiplying by 2 over 2. So that'd be minus 10 over 16 plus 3 over 16, which would be x to the minus 7 over 16, and then we have to get rid of the negative exponent. So the final answer would be 1 over x to the positive 7 over 16. All right, and if that was radical form, that'd be the 16th root of x to the 7th. Probably wouldn't ask you for that on a problem like this. Okay, I hope that helped. If you had any trouble with any of these, sorry about that calculator error that I made on number 4, but got that straightened out. And I will talk to you on the next one.